Tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that.
Well, let's put that to the test, shall we? In my search for topics simple enough to explain in 100 seconds, and yet not so simple as to prompt boredom-related suicide pacts, I stumbled across this blast from the past. You may have a vague recollection of sitting in a dusty classroom with something like this drawn on the board, or the blackboard, or the slate, or carved into the wall, depending on your age. But what does this diagram actually mean? As the gravity of the moon pulls on the ocean, it makes a bump here. But what about this bump? Why the oceans and not the whole Earth? Why doesn't this happen? Why doesn't the entire Earth fall into the moon and put us all out of our goddamn misery? For answers to this, we can look towards English professor and generally well-regarded smarty pants Sir Isaac Newton and his work on gravity. To greatly oversimplify, the closer you are to something, the stronger you get pulled towards it. Now the moon is pretty far away, so on our puny human scale we don't really notice this effect, but according to my research, the Earth is pretty big. Let's say you're a basketball player or some other freakishly tall person, so your head may be around 2 meters closer to the moon than your feet. However, one side of the Earth is over 12.7 million meters closer than the other. Working out the numbers, the difference in the moon's gravity from one side of the Earth to the other is about 6.7%. To compare, the difference from your head to your feet is about 1/1,000,000%. So while it looks as though this bulge is pulling away from the moon, it's actually just pulled towards the moon less than the rest of the ocean. Compare the forces to the average, and you get this, which makes a bit more sense. As the Earth rotates under the bulge, the apparent sea level rises and falls.
Tide goes in, tide goes out.
So what about the Earth itself? Well, there are actually tidal forces there as well, but because the Earth is made mostly of stuff considerably more gloopy than water, the effect is somewhat less pronounced. The Earth also has a tidal effect on the moon, which has slowed the moon's day down to match up with its month, explaining why we only ever see the same side of the moon and why terrible films like Iron Sky can exist. As for the Earth and moon crashing into one another, well, we can all hope, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. I'd tell you why, but orbital mechanics is a topic for another video. If you enjoyed watching this video and would like to expedite my descent into madness, you should consider clicking the like and subscribe buttons as a method of pressuring me into making more. Have a suggestion for a topic? Why don't you leave a comment, and if you're lucky I might even read it.